While renovating my house, I uncovered a crawl space. The journal inside had entries about me. I have only been living here for a month. It's not much, but I got the place for a good price. Definitely a fixer-upper. It's in a good, quiet neighborhood, so to me it was a no-brainer. I'm pretty handy and I know my way around a set of tools, so I figured I could do most of the physical work that needed to be done. Some carpet and drywall replacing was the first thing on my list. It's a fairly small house, so I knew I'd be able to do most of it on my own. The first week was fine, ripped up the living room carpet and threw on a fresh coat of paint. The days were long, but the work was definitely paying off. I do most of the self-renovations when I got home from work, so by the time I finished each day, my bed was calling my name. Every night, when I'd lay down to sleep, I would hear a light scratching noise. It sounded like it was coming from inside the wall of my bedroom, which only meant one thing. I definitely had rodents. The house was old and the people that lived here before me did a horrible job with keeping up with the maintenance. Unfortunately, there wasn't too much I could do. Funds were already tight as is, and I couldn't afford an exterminator at the moment. At first, I tried to ignore it and just told myself I would get to it when I could. The next few nights were very similar. Day job, renovations, sleep. After a week of hard work, something strange happened. The light scratching I'd grown so used to hearing suddenly stopped. At first, I didn't notice. But that night, as I lay in bed, I realized the house was completely silent. I held my breath, waiting. Nothing. For the first time in weeks, I relaxed. Silence, pure, beautiful silence. I was just drifting off to sleep when I heard it again. Not from my bedroom, though. From the guest bedroom across the hall. Just when I thought, maybe I lucked out, I was brought back to the harsh reality that is owning a house. I took off of work the next day to finish some more projects around the house. There was just a few more major things that had to be taken care of. After working most of the day, I grabbed myself a bite to eat and called my buddy Mike. I've been so damn busy with the house, it's been hard to keep up with social life. Mike was a handyman himself, so any questions I had regarding the house, I knew I could run by him. "Dude, how's the house coming along?" Mike asked. "Honestly, looking better each day. It's just extremely time-consuming. Oh, and by the way, is it normal to feel like I'm just bleeding money?" "Ah, yes. Welcome to the sweet world of homeownership," he said with a laugh. "Quick question. Have you ever dealt with mice around your house? I swear I am hearing them in the walls." "No, man. That's ghosts. You have ghosts." "Yeah, well, maybe they can get rid of the mice." We talked for a bit longer before he let me get back to the last of my home improvement. The last project I had to tackle was the guest room. I had to rip the carpet up and take down some horrible wallpaper. I was just about to walk into the guest room when I noticed my bedroom door was cracked open. I know for sure that I closed it. It became a force of habit since I was a teenager. Whenever I left my room, I closed the door behind me. I thought that maybe my exhaustion was catching up to me. I could not wait to finish this damn house. The carpet came up with no problem. The wallpaper was a different story. That took me forever. The last of the wallpaper was in the closet. I was just about halfway through removing the wallpaper from the closet when I came across the crawl space. It had been completely covered when I saw it. I admit I was taken by surprise. I used my phone flashlight to peer inside, and that's when I saw it. The mice droppings. I knew it. I knew something was crawling around back there. I was relieved I wasn't going crazy. Just as I was about to close it back up, I noticed something in the far corner. Pillows and a blanket. Old and dusty. Remnants of the past, no doubt. There was something else, though. A book. Some sort of journal. And it was covered with dust and the pages were withered. This thing had to be here for a while. I read the first entry. Entry 1. I'm always alone. Nobody ever sees how I'm doing. I love them. Why don't they notice me? I flipped through a few more entries, each written in the same messy handwriting. Entry 3. Sometimes I hear them moving around upstairs. I wish I could be there with them. I miss being part of things. Entry 5. I saw them leave this morning. The house gets so quiet when they're gone. Entry 6. I like this little hideout. It's like I can escape reality. Leave all of my troubles on the other side of this wall. I couldn't tell if the person was lonely, delusional, or just writing some kind of creepy story. The entries were strange, but not outright threatening. Still, something about that line, the house gets so quiet when they're gone. Strange. I set the journal down and grabbed my phone. "Yo," Mike answered. "Don't tell me you found the ghost." "Not quite, but get this," I said, holding back a laugh. I was ripping down the wallpaper in the guest closet, right? And I found a little crawl space. Mice droppings. Nasty as hell, but also this old-ass journal. Journal? "Yeah, listen to this. The house gets so quiet when they're gone," I said in my best spooky narrator voice. Mike cracked up. "Bro, what kind of psycho used to live there?" "Who knows? I probably just uncovered the tragic backstory of some weirdo shut in. Maybe they got locked in and never made it out." "Better stop reading that thing out loud at night. That's how all horror movies start." "Please, the only thing haunting me right now is the cost of drywall." We both laughed for a while before hanging up. But even after I put the phone down, I caught myself glancing at that open crawl space again. The journal was still sitting there in the beam of my flashlight, half open, like it was waiting for me to read the next page. My house was finally finished. Well, it was finished enough for me. I need to relieve some stress, and I figured there was no better way than to have a little housewarming party. I invited a few friends just for some food, drinks, and laugh. While waiting for the food to be delivered, Mike had the best idea. "Go ahead and get that journal, man. Read us some of the bedtime stories," he said over the laughter. There was some confused look from my other friends, not knowing what he was referring to. "Yeah, he found it in an old crawl space. This thing looks prehistoric." After some sarcastic cheering and egging on, I decided to appease the crowd. I cleared my throat and flipped to a random page. Entry 47. "I've been here for a while now. I like what they've done to the place. It feels like home finally." "Amazing work. Keep going," someone said in a patronizing tone. I continued further. Entry 62. "They're finally leaving. I did my part to make sure they knew it was time to go. Got it all to myself." All right. One more for the night," I said. I turned towards the end of the journal. Entry 89. "He is changing everything. This is my house. Patching holes and ripping up carpet? Bullshit. These are my memories he is painting over. He leaves a lot. That gives me a lot of time to plan. He needs to know that this house belongs to me." This was unsettling. This felt wrong. I felt a lump in my throat, and I glanced over at Mike just as I finished the last words. He was sitting there with a goofy smile. "Aha. Very funny, you asshole, trying to spook me." He must have snuck a personal entry in there while he was helping me set up for the party. This guy was never serious. We kinda laughed it off and continued with the night. The food was great. The drinks were even better. My last few friends there said goodbye, and it was time for me to get some much-needed sleep. After cleaning up a bit, I crawled into bed, and it didn't take me long to fall asleep. I thought I was dreaming when I heard it. A knock. I wasn't sure if it was coming from the walls. Then I heard it again. A door. I knew it was a door. My door? I got up to check what the hell was going on, and then again I heard it. This was not from my door. The guest room. It was coming from the guest room. I opened my bedroom door and stepped into the hallway. I swung the guest room door open. I stood still, trying to hear something. The house was quiet. I could only hear my own heavy breathing. Another knock. It was coming from the closet. Did I leave the crawlspace door open? Did I leave a window open? Was a draft coming through? All the thoughts ran through my head. In the half-second silence, I heard knocking. I took another step forward, the floorboards groaning under my feet. The closet door stood slightly open, and I could see the edge of the crawlspace panel inside. I reached out a hand to push the door fully open, feeling ridiculous as I whispered, "Hello?" into the dark. In that same heartbeat, the door exploded open. A figure burst out of the closet, a shadow lunging at me with a flash of steel in their hand. Before I could even shout, a knife slashed through the air, grazing my arm and sending a jolt of pain through me. Adrenaline took over. I stumbled back, trying to put distance between us, but the attacker was on me in a heartbeat. I barely registered the pain as I twisted away and bolted for the window. My only thought was escape. I jumped and hurled myself through it, crashing onto the ground outside. Pain shot up my leg as I landed hard, but I didn't stop. I limped as fast as I could towards my neighbor's house, my heart pounding louder than ever. That's where I called the cops. Breathing, bleeding, and finally forced to admit that something far worse than mice had been living in my walls. In the end, the police found the crawlspace exactly as I had left it, except for the journal lying open to the final entry. There was no sign of the attacker and no explanation of how they'd been living there unnoticed, but I knew what I had seen. The journal's final words were burned into my mind. This house will always be mine. I moved out the next week. Whatever haunted that house, whoever had claimed it as their own, I wasn't sticking around to find out what happened next. So that is the end of the story. While renovating my house, I uncovered a crawl space and the journal inside had entries about me. I just want to start off by saying all credit goes to the author of this story. They also have a YouTube channel themselves where they read, and I believe they narrate horror stories or like, you know, Reddit stories, kind of like what I'm doing right now. So I will have all of that linked in the description below, so definitely check out their channel, definitely check out their Reddit page, comment on the video, tell them Natalie sent ya. But anyways, that is so terrifying to me, and honestly, moving out, smart idea. I probably would have done the same, even though like you put in so much time and so much effort, so much money into that house just for someone to come and attack you. But I don't know, do you guys think it was a person living in there, or like some sort of like squatter kind of scenario, or do you think it was paranormal? Do you think it was a ghost? Personally, I don't think it was a ghost. I feel like that was like a squatter or some sort of, I don't know, situation happening. But I am definitely curious to know what your guys' thoughts and opinions are on this story and what happened to this person. Regardless, if you do like stories like these, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when a new video drops. My name is Natalie, and I will see you guys in the next video.